the Director General from the Alliance of Biodiversity International and International Center for Tropical Agriculture, CIAT, and his video will be coming to us from Rome. Followed by his message, we'll have Dr. Jacqueline, and she is actually the Director General of ICRISAT at Hyderabad. And then we will have Ambassador Kenneth Quinn. He's a President Emeritus of the World Food Prize Foundation based in the US. So we'll have these videos relayed one after the other. You can start with the first video, please. The first video is from Dr. Juan.
Greetings to all. I am Juan Lucas Restrepo. I serve as Director General of the Alliance of Biodiversity International and CIAT, and I'm also the Global Director for Partnerships and Advocacy for One CGIAR. I'm very sorry not to be with you today. I'm saluting you from close to Rome, where last week I was present in a very important United Nations Food System Summit stock-taking moment. It's the second year after the different countries, different governments agreed to commit to system transformation pathways to change their food systems, and it was the first time where they were discussing progress and about means of implementation. Let me, before dwelling into the important subject of millets, acknowledge the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation and its chair, Saumya, and all of the amazing partners you managed to assemble to bring this important conference together. So congratulations, and again, I'm very sorry for not being here with you today. Millets, the way I see them, and after witnessing how difficult it is being for governments, for the UN bodies to clearly define a pathway to meet the SDGs. We are not there yet. It's looking more and more difficult that important SDGs as zero hunger are met. We have big issues with malnourishment, with obesity, etc. And the more pathways, the more tools, the more solutions we have in our hands, the more likely it's going to be to meet those SDGs. And this is where millets play a very important role. I was going through the program of this conference, and the experts will be covering all of the bits and pieces of why millets showcase a way forward as a tool of a larger toolkit to help meet SDGs. If you look at millets, and I was fortunate enough to be about a month ago in Hyderabad visiting the ICAR Institute of Research on Millets, and also the great work the Millet Accelerator is doing in that place to really understand why this year is the year of millets. To start from the production point of view, millets are first a very important crop that carries centuries of development, of work and efforts by communities to select and protect and conserve these varieties that fortunately for all of us are still in the fields of the farmers, and also fortunately through conservation, government-led conservation efforts and internationally led conservation efforts are still found in terms of great biodiversity on the gene banks. So we have that biodiversity that is showing, that's demonstrating that millets are being able to cope in comparison to other cereals such as maize, for example, with a great stress, cope with heat stress, cope with water scarcity, and therefore are fit to withstand this climatic pressure we're seeing in a much better manner. We see also how millets and the way they are produced locally, etc., involves and has involved great efforts and participation for women. So millets in many ways are a tool also to empower women farmers in this important endeavor. So we have a crop that has important diversity that can be planted, and we are seeing that it's being uptaken in many countries in an important manner. So it's a great example of neglected and underutilized species that fortunately are beginning to be mainstreamed and will require great support from research entities, from public research and private research efforts to get them to where they can be in terms of helping meet SDGs as well as livelihoods of farming communities. But then if you look at the consumer side, and you will hear a lot of this in the conference, there is great understanding and greater understanding of the nutritional value of millets, how in terms of their minerals and their capacity to nourish, we have a very, very important food that can be and needs to be mainstreamed. But in order for that to happen, we need a pull. We need governments to focalize and prioritize the use of millet in public procurement, school feeding programs. We see that the World Food Program, for example, already prioritizing the use of millets in school feeding programs in a number of places, and this is a great way to go. But consumer awareness is still not there, and we need greater efforts there. What I found amazing is that for millets, we need to devote to a value chain approach. If we only promote production, that production will have trouble finding markets. If we only promote consumption, there will be an unmet need because production will not be there. And this is where, in my visit to Hyderabad, I was amazed at this effort from the Millets Accelerator Innovation Hub to develop a value chain approach whereby new ways, novel ways of processing and innovation. We are seeing that millets can be converted now into cereals, into pastas, into products for bakery, etc., meaning that they can be better understood and used by consumers, and producers can also serve a value chain that's more and more diverse. So diversity, so using this staple and bringing the industry side of things to generate great products, great cookies, great cereals, great muffins, etc., that have a high base of millets is going to be also absolutely critical. So just to close in these few minutes that I have, I would like to thank you again and to mention that we at the Alliance and CGIAR stand ready to help with our global public goods mandate from the gene banks and the collections we hold in trust, to serve also as a translator to help countries, governments work among themselves to use also the power of our own research and our partnerships to help this millets story become a successful one, and of course use that success also to keep working on bringing back very important foods such as neglected and underutilized roots and tubers, leafy vegetables, pseudo cereals, etc. We really need to diversify the breadbasket of humanity because we unfortunately ended relying on too few crops, and that has clearly demonstrated that goes against SDGs and against livelihoods and against diversity, etc. So I wish you a great conference. Sorry again for not being there. Have a great moment of sharing and understanding and committing towards millets so they can be part of the solution. Thank you.
now hear from Dr. Jacqueline.
Distinguished guests, fellow millet enthusiasts, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity, first of all, to wish Professor Swaminathan a very happy birthday. I'm delighted to be amidst you today, although virtually, and to share my thoughts on a topic that holds great promise in addressing the challenges of food, nutrition, and health security. As referred to by the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, millets, Sri Anna, are a diverse group of small-seeded grasses that have satiated the hunger of millions for thousands of years. They have a rich history and are replete with remarkable benefits. However, millets haven't been accorded their rightful place in modern times, when rice, wheat, and maize dominated research, markets, and the food plate. Thanks to the International Year of Millets, the world is awakening to realize the goodness of millets once again. Millets are known to be best for those who consume them, better for those that cultivate them, and good for the planet, especially when the water is getting scarcer year after year. Millets are known for their exemplary nutritional benefits. These grains are a powerhouse of essential nutrients, such as dietary fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals. They are particularly rich in calcium, iron, magnesium, and zinc. Getting millets onto our plates can contribute to better nutrition and combat malnutrition, which remains a global concern. Millets help diversify our food choices and bring balance to our diets. Millets offer a win-win for food security challenges, as they are resilient and adaptable to diverse climatic conditions. They can better tolerate low moisture and high temperature regimes, making them well suited for cultivation in arid and semi-arid regions compared to water-intensive crops such as rice, wheat, and maize, which account for almost 90% of global cereal production. Millet's water footprint is quite small compared to these three dominant cereals. For instance, it requires 2,500 litres of water to produce 1 kilogram of rice, while it takes between 650 and 1,200 litres, less than half, to produce 1 kilogram of millets. Thus, millets are a natural choice in climate change scenarios. By encouraging millet consumption, we can promote millet farming, empower small-scale farmers, and improve their resilience to climate change while supporting actors along the millet value chain. This, in the long run, augurs well for ensuring food security and reducing the vulnerability of communities to food crises. Furthermore, millets can contribute to the well-being of under- and overnourished populations. There's plenty of research evidence to demonstrate that consumption of millets can reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, and certain types of cancer. Due to their low glycemic index, millets could be a very good choice for all of us, and specifically diabetics, as they slowly release the sugars into the bloodstream, helping regulate blood sugar levels. Additionally, millets are gluten-free, making them an excellent alternative for individuals with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity. It is very important that we take collective action to fully harness the potential of millets for food, nutrition, and health security. Governments, policymakers, national and international organizations, civil society should work together to take millets to their rightful place. This calls for robust policy support, decent research funding, and a heightened awareness through campaigns, roadshows, workshops, seminars. Millet value chains and market linkages need strengthening, besides ensuring market access and fair prices to support those millet farmers. A broad alliance of educational institutions, of healthcare providers, Media, food industries needs to be promoted to engage with the public about the nutritional benefits of millets and encourage their consumption through recipes and dietary recommendations. To summarize, millets can revitalize our food habits by strengthening nutrition and health security. Their inclusion in diets can address pressing challenges of malnutrition, food insecurity, and chronic diseases, besides supporting smallholder rain-fed farming systems. Let us join hands to promote millets as a sustainable, nutritious, and resilient solution to build a healthier, more secure future for all. Together, we can pave the way for a world where millets take their rightful place on our plates and in our hearts. Thank you.
We'll now hear from Ambassador Kenneth Quinn, please.
I'm Ambassador Kenneth Quinn, President Emeritus of the World Food Prize Foundation, speaking to you from Des Moines, Iowa, in the USA. For 2 decades, I had the incomparable privilege of working with Nobel Peace Prize laureate and founder of the World Food Prize, Dr. Norman Borlaug, and the first World Food Prize laureate, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, 2 of the greatest agricultural scientists in all human history. And I want to begin by extending my warmest wishes to Dr. Swaminathan as he celebrates his birthday this weekend. I wish I were there in person to greet him, but I'm so pleased to be participating in this conference on the mighty millet and the public forum on One Health for All. I want to express my appreciation to Dr. Sumia Swaminathan, the new chair of the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation, and to her sister, Dr. Madhura Swaminathan, who I'm so pleased had accepted my invitation as a member of the Council of Advisors of the World Food Prize. In 2014, as we celebrated the centennial of Dr. Norman Borlaug's birth, the theme for our Borlaug Dialogue International Symposium was meeting the single greatest challenge in all human history. And that challenge, that greatest challenge in human history is, can our species, can the human race sustainably produce sufficient nutritious food to feed the 9 to 10 billion people who will be on our planet by the year 2050? And can we do so while facing the great challenges of adapting to climate change, of preventing conflict, which can be so devastating, and while preventing pandemic diseases of human diseases, animal diseases, and plant diseases? And the following year, our symposium addressed the topic of "Let food be thy medicine," a quote taken from Hippocrates, the great Greek physician and medical philosopher. And that quote and that phrase relates so much to millets. I have to admit that I didn't know very much about millets. They're not on the menu typically in the United States. And there are so many different varieties of millets. And it can be complicated: finger millet, pearl millet, barnyard millet, broomcorn millet, billion-dollar millet, but also teff. And I remember from my study of the history of human agriculture how teff, a small grain millet, was one of the very, very first crops that human beings ever cultivated, along with wheat. And it plays such an essential role in Ethiopia, where it's such a central part of the diet. Reminded me of the work of World Food Prize laureate Dr. Gabisa Ejeta. And then 2 weeks ago, I was in China, and I was reminded of the work of two other World Food Prize laureates, Dr. Surinder Vassal of India and Dr. Evangelina Villegas of Mexico, and who worked on developing biofortified maize in order to defeat this scourge of kwashiorkor, this devastating early childhood malnutrition, which was so affecting so many children in Ghana and other parts of Africa. Because millet is a nutritious crop, easily grown, and which provides a very nutritious breakfast. I found this out at the hotel where the millet porridge was being served and being eaten by so many Chinese families and their children, all enjoying very delicious millet porridge. But it is why, and that millet is consumed so much in China, is what kept young Chinese children from being so affected. And so as we look at the question of how can we ensure one health for all, that having crops and understanding them and having them adapted places where there is a devastation of malnutrition can be so critical. And as we also look at ways to ensure the spread of information, whether it's about through new digital roads or paved roads going out into very remote parts of countries, that this is the way that health and information can also flow out to the poorest people. When I addressed the UN in 2013 on World Food Day, and I spoke about that where the road ends is where hunger and poverty and malnutrition and conflict and insurgency and disease all begin. And it's as our 2017 World Food Prize laureate, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, president of the African Development Bank, has spoken of the critical importance of infrastructure. And so we need to have one health, we need to have one agriculture, we need to have one struggle against hunger, and to do this in a coordinated way. Dr. Swaminathan, happy birthday again to you, my dear friend and mentor. We all love you so very much. I'm so thrilled to be here with you, and as we address these critical issues that the world faces, and we're so fortunate to have you as our inspiration in carrying out and addressing this great global challenge.
So we'd like to thank Dr. Kwan, Dr. Jacqueline, and Ambassador Quinn for their messages. Now we'll shift to the next session, which is recognizing the Jamsetji Tata National Virtual Academy Fellows. And I'll hand over the stage to Dr. R. Rajkumar.
Good evening to everyone. I welcome all of you for this important session. It is a time to recognize the millet custodian, farmers, and the lead value chain actors as the fellow of Jamsetji Tata National Virtual Academy. Once our professor, beloved professor, mentioned Jamsetji Tata is synonymous with innovation, creativity, and social responsibility. We have identified 24 NVA fellows with these qualities across the 6 states. Now it is a time to honor these fellows, NVA fellows. Now I request Dr. Rangalakshmi to facilitate this session.
Good afternoon to everyone. Now I request the coordinators of this session, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Dr. Triloshan Mahapatra, and Dr. Achalendra Reddy to come to the dais. This Jamsetji National Virtual Academy is the flagship program in the foundation. It was started in 2004, and so far we have completed 11 convocations of the fellows, and this is the 12th convocation of the National Virtual Academy Fellows. And this time 24 fellows have been identified through a meticulous selection, who are having a leadership in millet cultivation, production, and also in the value chains at different point of time. And so far foundation has conferred 1,874 fellows, of which 735 were women, and they had excellency in the areas of agriculture, fishery, biodiversity, health, water, and sanitation. And these fellows are grassroots innovators having the competency to evolve as doing the role models and champions to accelerate the transformative changes in the respective areas. And on this occasion, we have developed a small directory which provides information about their contributions, and during this occasion we would like to release that. Now I request Dr. Soumya Swaminathan to release that small directory. So now I read the 13 fellows who are here out of 24 selected fellows, and their main contributions in millet cultivation and value chains. And first one is Ms. Malarkodi. She is the master trainer who has trained farm women in preparing the millet recipes in her own village. And the second person is Ms. Vanilla. Already she was in the inaugural session. No, later sheet. Yeah. Progressive young women farmer who introduced millet processing machinery in her village, and she explained that in the morning session also. And the third person is Mr. Madheshwaran, who is a pioneer in preparation of the millet foods, who has spread the nutritional aspects of the millets and value-added products in his community. And the fourth person is Mr. Vikram Shankar Narayanan, and he is an entrepreneur who developed the millet processing machines and widely disseminated among millet growing regions in Tamil Nadu as well as other parts of India. And the fifth person is Mr. Sivasamy, a well-known millet grower with a determination to make his village as a millet growing hub. So the sixth person is Mr. Kalaichelvan, and he is an young and progressive millet growing farmer turned into an entrepreneur by developing more value added products and releasing in the market. The next person is Mr. Sundaram, a motivator who introduced millet based cropping system replacing the paddy in their local cropping system. This is in Puducherry. And the next person is Mr. Subramanian, a pioneer in millet, included integrated farming system model. In that millet is included. The next person is Mr. Mariappan, who is a pioneer in designing millet processing machine based on the local needs by fine tuning the parts in the different millet processing. Then Ms. Dhanabai, she is a well-known figure and recognized a millet seed farmer in Koraput district of Orissa. The next person is Mr. Laichna Sukia, who was in the inaugural session, a progressive millet farmer along with different millet land races cultivation. Then next person is Jagannath Sinari. He is also a millet entrepreneur who strives to serve the society by exchanging knowledge with other fellow farmers in his village. The final person is Mr. Ram Swarup Parikh. He is a lawyer trained into a farmer, motivated hundreds of farmers to cultivate millet in his region. So now we recognize their contributions in millet cultivation, production and marketing or different parts of value chain by conferring them as National Virtual Academy Fellows. Now I request Dr. Trilochan Sir, Mahapatra Sir and Dr. Achalendra Reddy to confer with them by providing certificate and a memento. Thank you, sir. Yeah. The first person is Ms. Malar Kodi from Kolli Hills. Ms. Venila. Mr. Madeshwaran. Vanilla. Mr. Madeshwaran. Mr. Vikram Shankar Narayanan. Then Mr. Sivasamy. Mr. Sivasamy. Mr. Kalaichelvan Selvarasu. Mr. Sundaram. Mr. Sundaram. Mr. Sundaram. Subramaniam, sorry. Miss Danaboy. Mr. Laichana Sukia. Mr. Jagannath Shinari. Mr. Ramswarup Parikh.
Traditionally, people were growing maca there. Started diversifying the business direction. People, old age people talking about stories, how they were making rice out of it and dishes and all that. So it's very interesting to hear all that. Yes, ma'am. Also set up a millet processing area to get unpolished millet.
We have one more person.
Mr. Mariyappan. Thank you, sir and ma'am. So now out of the 13 fellows who are here in person for this fellowship, I request 7 of them to share their brief experiences. Now I call Ms. Malarkodi from Kolli Hills.
அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். என் பேர் மலர்கொடி, கொல்லிமலையிலேருந்து வந்திருக்கேன். நான் என்னென்னா அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். என் பேர் மலர்கொடி, கொல்லிமலையிலேருந்து வந்திருக்கேன். ஃபஸ்ட்டு நான் கூலி வேலைக்கு தான் போயிட்டுருந்தேன். அதுக்கப்புறமா கூலி வேலை செஞ்சுட்டு இதுக்கு மாதிரி எம்எஸ் சாமிநாதன் ஆராய்ச்சி நிறுவனத்தில் கடைக்கு ஜாயின் பண்ணேன். ஃபஸ்ட்டு ஜாயின் பண்ணப்போ எனக்கு என்ன ஏது அப்படின்னு அந்த இது தெரியாது. அதுக்கப்புறமா நானாக படித்தது நான் கம்மியாக தான் படித்தேன். 8வது வரைக்கும் தான் படிச்சிருக்கேன். அதனால் எனக்கு அதிக வெளி உலகம் எதுவுமே அது மாதிரி போனதில்லை. ஆனால் இந்த எம்எஸ் சாமிநாதன் இதில் போய் சேர்ந்ததுக்கப்புறம் அதில் என்னென்ன இதெல்லாம் பண்ணணும், சாமை அரிசியில் என்ன பண்ணணும், திணை அரிசியில் என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற அந்த ரெடிமேட் மிக்ஸ் எல்லாமே நானாக கற்றுக்கிட்டேன். நானாக கற்று என் குடும்பத்துக்கும் என் பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு எல்லாமே நல்ல யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக நல்லாவே இருக்குது. ஒன்றும் குடும்பத்தை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுற அளவுக்கு எனக்கு நல்ல யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாகவே இருக்குது. அதுக்கப்புறம்
She's Malarkodi from Kolli Hills. She studied up to 8th standard and before joining MSSRF, she has not gone out of Kolli Hills. So after joining the foundation's work, she started learning about different recipes, preparation from millets, especially little millet and Italian millet. Now they are producing and marketing it as a kind of a collective. Yeah. Now I call Mr. Madheshwaran from Kolli Hills to share his experience.
அனைவருக்கும் நமஸ்காரம். என் பேர் கே மாதேஸ்வரன். நான் கொல்லி ஹில்ஸில் 2007 கொல்லி ஹில்ஸில் 2007 டாக்டர் ஆலிவர் என்ன கொல்லி ஹில்ஸ் நேச்சுரல் ஃபுட்டுன்ற நேமில் என்னை டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட்டராக இது பண்ணுறாரு. அப்போ பார்த்திங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு தானியமெல்லாம் அவ்வளோவா அவேர்னஸ் கிடையாது. தானியம் அப்போ ரொம்ப மக்களுக்கு போய் சேராத நாட்கள் அப்போ பார்த்திங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஒரு பாக்கெட் 16 ரூபாய்க்கு தான் விற்றுது. இப்போ பார்த்திங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு நல்லாவே தரும் ஒரு பாக்கெட் 65 ரூபாய்க்கு விற்கிது, 1/2 கிலோ. அதனால் மக்களுக்கும் வந்து விவசாயிகளுக்கும் அப்போ வாங்குறச்ச நாங்கள் வந்து 12 ரூபாய்க்கு தான் ஒரு கிலோ வாங்கினோம். இன்றைக்கி பார்த்திங்கன்னா வந்து விவசாயிகளுக்கு வந்து நாங்கள் 45 ரூபா 50 ரூபா கொடுத்து ஒரு கிலோ வாங்குகிறோம். இந்த அளவுக்கு இன்றைக்கி தானியம் வந்து மக்கள் மத்தியில் அவேர்னஸ் ஆகிருக்கு. நாங்கள் மார்க்கெட்டிங் பண்ணி கடைங்க எம்எஸ்ஆர்எஃப் நிறையா நமக்கு இந்த கடைகள் எல்லாம் வந்து எங்கெங்கே இது நடக்குதோ ஃபங்க்ஷன் நடக்குதோ அங்கே அது மாதிரி கடைகளெல்லாம் உருவாக்கி கொடுத்துருக்கு. அப்புறம் கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்டாலில் வந்து நமக்கு நம்ம ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மூலிமா போய் ஸ்டால் போடுறதுக்கு உண்டான அரேஞ்ச்மெண்ட்டு, அப்புறம் வந்து இந்த வேல்யூவேட்ஸ் பொருள்கள் எல்லாம் தயாரிக்கிறதுக்கு கோயம்புத்தூர் அவினாசிலிங்கம் காலேஜ் அந்த மாதிரி நியூட்ரிஷன் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில் அது மாதிரியெல்லாம் நாங்கள் ட்ரைனிங் எடுத்து அதுக்குண்டான இதெல்லாம் பண்ணி வேல்யூவேட்ஸ் நல்லா ரெடி பண்ணி மக்கள் வந்து அங்கேயே வந்து கொல்லிமலை வந்து செல்ஃப் ஹெல்ப் குரூப்பெல்லாம் தயாரித்த பொருள்களை அவங்க வந்து விற்பனை கொண்டு வந்து நம்ம வந்து கடைங்களில் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு 25 ஃபஸ்ட்டு வந்து நாங்கள் 25 அவுட்லெட் இருந்து 45 அவுட்லெட்டு தமிழ்நாடு பூரா நாங்கள் விற்பனை செஞ்சிட்ருக்கோம். இப்போவுமே எல்லா இடத்துலையும் விற்பனை போயிட்டுருக்கு. சிறுதானியத்துக்கு நல்ல ஊட்டச்சத்து மிக்க இது ஃபைபர் கண்டென்ட்ஸ் இருக்குது, அயன் இருக்குது. அந்த மாதிரி டயபெட்டிஸ்க்கு நிறையா பேர் வாங்குறாங்க. குழந்தைகளுக்கு இப்போ நிறையா சத்துணவாக கொடுக்குறாங்க. நிறையா வந்து நமக்கு பேப்பர்லேயும் இந்த மாதிரி இதுலையெல்லாம் நிறையா எழுதுகிறாங்க. நிறையா சயின்டிஸ்ட்டுங்க வந்து நல்ல இப்போ கூகுள் எல்லாம் கூட சர்ச் பண்ணால் அதனோட இதெல்லாம் நமக்கு கிடைக்கிறது. அதனால் இப்போ மக்கள் நிறையா அவேர்னஸ் ஆகிட்டாங்க. நல்லா விற்பனை ஆகுது. விவசாயிகள் நல்லா விளைய வச்சு சிறுதானியத்தை நல்லா மிஷினரியும் பார்த்திங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு நிறைய பேர் தயாரிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. ஃபஸ்ட்டெல்லாம் சிறுதானியம் அரைக்கிறது மிஷின் கிடைக்கிறதே வந்து ரொம்ப ரேராக சேலம் அந்த மாதிரி. இப்போல்லாம் நிறையா டெக்னாலஜி நிறையா மிஷின் வந்துடுது. இப்போ வந்து நிறையா பேர் விற்றுட்டுருக்கா. நல்ல மார்க்கெட்டிங் நல்லா இருக்குது. அதனால் வந்து சிறுதானியத்துக்கே இனிமேல் மார்க்கெட்டிங் குறையாது. நல்ல விவசாயிகள் நல்லா விளைய வைக்கலாம் தாராளமாக. சிறுதானியம் நல்லா விற்கும், நல்லா விற்பனையாகும். எல்லாருக்கும் பேச வாய்ப்பு அளித்ததுக்கு நன்றி. தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
He's Mr. Madeshwaran coming from Kolli Hills. In 2007, he joined as a distributor in the millet value chain project in Kolli Hills. And since then, they have been procuring millets from farmers. Earlier at that time, the procurement price was very less, only 12 rupees from the farmer they procured and marketed it for 16 rupees. This is for the half a kg product. But later now it is, from the farmers they are procuring for 45 rupees and selling it in the market for 60 rupees. So that is a big change in the procurement, and now the procurement is assured from the farmers. So they are encouraging farmers to cultivate millets in their activities. Apart from this, they have been promoting millets, the value-added products in different markets, including the government stalls. For that, they have took the technical training from Avinashalingam University as well as from different institutions for value-added product preparations. And through SHGs also, they are mobilizing products from the farmers. And they are now marketing in 45 outlets. Earlier it was 25 outlets. Now they have expanded their business to 45 outlets. And he's also sharing that the awareness about millets among the farmers as well as the consumers have now increased. Now there is a good market scope. Processing machineries are also now available. The technologies have improved. Earlier when they started the program, availability of machinery was very less, but now there are more refined machineries have come up, and as far as he is concerned, millet can be promoted and farmers can easily cultivate with the assured procurement. Thank you. Now I call the next person, Mr. Vikram Shankar Narayanan, to share his experience.
Good afternoon to one and all. My name is Vikram Shankar Narayanan and I work for Bone Technologies. At the outset, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the entire team at MS Swaminathan Research Foundation for having given me this award. I am also extremely humbled amidst to be and to receive this award, because I know the journeys that some of the people who have received this award have gone through under extremely challenging circumstances. But to start with, it wouldn't be fair if I give the credit to this award just to myself. I have an entire team, specifically starting with my mother and chairperson, Ms. Subbalakshmi Shankar Narayanan, who has painstakingly stood behind us at Bone Technologies to be able to drive this initiative forward, taking tremendous risk under extremely uncertain circumstances to take this forward. Secondly, Mr. Vigneshram Ankuraj, the chief engineer, also a director at Bone Technologies, who was instrumental under very, very difficult circumstances to come up with the technology. You have to understand, we were reduced to beggary. We started with Sanlak Agro Industries, and we were talking to existing millet processing manufacturers, asking them for food grade steel, asking them, for better process to increase the dehulling percentage, reduce the brokens. We were mocked. And then again, being Western educated, they thought that I was looking at everything from that lens, not realizing that we have so much potential in our own country and we need to bring that out. If I had not started Bone Technologies, after undertaking the research for machineries, I would have had to shut down Sanlak altogether. Having realized that we found a strategic technology, which we've called the SSN, another person I need to give credit to, Ms. Santa Sheila Nair, the only bureaucrat who responded to 60 emails I sent to various bureaucrats. She was the senior IS officer with the government of Tamil Nadu. She came in and she groomed me through the process for millets. The dehulling technology, which is path-breaking and currently the best in the country at the moment, potentially the world as well, has been named after her. And today we have the SSN3 version of that machinery. We have also developed the entire protocols also, which have been widely accepted across multiple states, further to which they're capacity building on these technologies. Talking about India, we started in Tamil Nadu. Karnataka, we really capacity built. Again, giving credit to another technocrat for whom I have a lot of respect, Mr. Krishna Bairigauda, who was also another mentor to me, where in 2017 and 18, we capacity built across the state. Those stories went beyond. It reached Odisha, it reached other parts of the country. And then, agriculture being a state subject, though we had a gazetted notification in 2018, started going step by step. Then again, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, through the campaigning of many institutions, has agreed to name 2023 as the International Year for Millets. Most importantly, I wish to salute all of you who have received this award, all the unnamed warriors on the ground, for having contributed to this entire exercise. And I see a lot of challenges ahead which we need to overcome together in a streamlined manner. Again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikram. Now I call Mr. Sivasamy from Kolli Hills.
அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். நான் புதுக்கோட்டை மாவட்டம் இலுப்பூர் தாலுகாவிலேருந்து வந்திருக்கேன். நான் படித்தது பிஎஸ்சி சுவாலஜி. கொரோனா காலத்துக்கு முன்பு எங்களோட பகுதி இலுப்பூர் பகுதியில் கிராம அறிவு மையம்னு ஒன்று எம்எஸ் சாமிநாதன் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மூலமாக உருவாக்கி வச்சுருக்காங்க. அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையத்தில் 100 பேரை கொண்ட 5 குழுக்களை செயல்பட்டு இருந்தோம். அந்த குழுவில் அந்த விவசாயி எல்லாருமே அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையத்தின் மூலமாக செயல்பட்டு இருந்தோம். அதன் மூலம் பயன்பட்டு இருந்தோம். ஒரு 4 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி விவசாயிகளும் விஞ்ஞானிகளும் என்ற ஒரு கருத்தரங்கம் நடைபெற்றுச்சு. அதில் நான் கலந்துருக்கிறப்ப விவசாயத்தோட எக்ஸ்போர்ட் ஒரு அந்த ஸ்பீச் கொடுத்தாங்க. சிறுதானியமும் அதை பற்றி சொல்லும்போ அதை எப்படி பயன்படுறது, எப்படி விவசாயம் பண்ணணும், எப்படி அறுவடை பண்ணணும், அதோட பயன்கள் என்ன, அதில் என்னென்ன சத்து இருக்குது அப்படின்னு அவங்க அந்த விவசாயியோட வல்லுநர்கள் அந்த கருத்தரங்கத்தில் பேசினாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் எங்களோட அந்த 100 விவசாயிகளும் அதோட தாக்கத்துக்கு திரும்பணும் நம்ம பக்கம். அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நெல்லும் இந்த கடலை இதை தான் நாங்கள் எங்கள் ஏரியாவில் யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். இப்போ அது இருப்பாடு இந்த சிறுதானியத்துக்கு பற்றி சொல்கிறப்ப சோளம், கம்பு, வரகு, தினை, இப்போ இந்த ராகின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அந்த சார் அன்றைக்கி விளக்கம் கொடுத்தாங்க. அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையத்தின் மூலமாக எங்களுக்கு மண் பரிசோதனை செஞ்சு அந்த விவசாயத்தோட வல்லுநருக்கு சொன்னாங்க. கோ 15ன்னு ஒரு ரகம் சொன்னாங்க. அந்த கோ 15ங்கிற ரகத்தை வேளாண்மை விரிவாக்க மையத்திலேருந்து நாங்கள் விதையாக எடுத்து அதை எங்கள் முதல்ல நாங்கள் ஒரு 1/2 ஏக்கர் எங்கள் நிலத்தில் செஞ்சு நல்ல ஈல்டு கிடச்சிது. அந்த கோ 15ங்கிற அந்த ராகி பயிர் பூக்கிறப்ப பஞ்சகாவியம்னு ஒன்று இயற்கை விவசாயம் ஒன்று தெளித்தோம்னா நல்ல ஈல்டு கிடச்சிது. நாங்கள் எதிர்பார்த்ததை விட நல்ல ஒரு அருமையான ரிசல்ட் கிடச்சதுனால அந்த 100 பேர் கொண்ட குழுக்களும் அந்த ராகி பயிர் செய்யலாம்னு முடிவு பண்ணி ஓரளவு அந்த செஞ்சுக்கிட்டு இருந்தோம். அதில் அந்த ராகி வியாபாரி விற்கிறப்ப ஒரு 14 ரூபா 15 ரூபா தான் கிலோ போட்டு எடுத்து வாங்கினார். அப்போது அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையத்தில் போய் நாங்கள் சொல்கிறப்ப அவங்க சொன்னாங்க, இதை வந்து நீங்கள் வெறும் கேழ்வரவா நீங்கள் விற்றீங்கன்னா இந்த ரேட்டு தான் வரும், அதை வந்து நீங்கள் வந்து மாவாக மாற்றி விற்றீங்கன்னா மார்க்கெட்டில் நல்ல ரேட்டு போகும்னு ஒரு கன்சல்டன் கொடுத்தாங்க. அதுக்கு ஒன்றும் எங்கேயும் இப்போ தெரிய மாட்டேருந்துச்சு. அப்புறம் அவங்களே கிராம அறிவு மையத்து மூலமாகவே ஒரு மில்லை பிடிச்சி பேசுனாங்க. அந்த மில்லை அரைச்சி எங்கள்கிட்ட இருக்கிற அந்த ராகி கேழ்வரவை வந்து அந்த மில்லில் கொடுத்து அரைச்சி அதே பாக்கெட்டாக போட்டு புதுக்கோட்டை திருச்சி எங்களுக்கு பக்கம் மையத்தில் வரும். அப்போ அந்த டவுனுக்கு பார்சல் பண்ணி அனுப்பிவிட்டு ஒரு நல்ல வருவாயாக ஈட்டி எங்களுக்கு கிராம அறிவு மையம் செயல்பட்டுது. அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையம் இது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் சாமிநாதன் ஆராய்ச்சி நிலையத்தின் மூலம் உருவாக்கின அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையம் பெண்களுக்கான தையல் பயிற்சி மையமும் இலவசமாக செயல்படுத்துகிறாங்க. அதே மாதிரி கணினி பயிற்சி மையமும் இலவசமாக செயல்படுத்துகிறாங்க. நாங்கள் சொல்கிற அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையத்தில் சுற்றி உள்ள 5 ஊராட்சியில் உள்ள அத்தனை விவசாயிகளுமே அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையத்தில் வந்து ஒரு கால்நடைகள் எல்லாத்துட்டையும் எங்கள்கிட்ட இருக்குது. அதுக்கு ஒரு நோய் தாக்கிடுச்சு அப்படின்னா நாங்கள் போய் நேரடியாக போய் டாக்டர்கிட்ட போய் நாங்கள் கன்சல்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு இது சிரமமாக இருந்துச்சு. நாங்கள் கிராம அறிவு மையத்தில் போய் தகவல் சொன்னால் போதும், அவங்க கால்நடை மருத்துவரை வர சொல்லி எங்களுக்கு ஒரு முகாம் போட்டு அத்தனை கால்நடைகளும் நோய் தாக்காமல் பாதுகாத்து கொடுத்தாங்க. அதே மாதிரி நாங்கள் செய்கிற விவசாயத்தில் நெல், கடலை, சோளம் அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறப்ப அந்த கிராம அறிவு மையத்தில் போய் இந்த பயிரை கொண்டு நாங்கள் காட்டினோம்னா அதில் வந்து அக்ரி டாக்டர்னு அவங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சவங்க கன்சல்ட் பண்ணி வர சொல்லி லேண்டில் நேரடியாகவே வந்து பார்வையிட்டு எங்களுக்கு வந்து அதை சரி பண்ணி கொடுத்தாங்க. அது இல்லாமல் எங்களுக்கு வந்து குழுக்கள் மூலமாக செயல்படுத்தி எங்களுக்கு சாமிநாதன் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் மூலம் உருவாக்கி கொடுத்த அந்த கிராம அறிவியல் மூலமாக எங்கள் அத்தனை விவசாயிகள் நாங்கள் பயன்படுத்திருக்கோம் சார். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
Thank you. He is Mr. Sivasamy from Illupur, Pudukkottai district in Tamil Nadu. And before Corona period, that is 2019, there are 5 self-help groups, farmer self-help groups. 100 people came together and formed these groups. And at that time, there was an interaction, farmer-scientist interaction was held, and in that millet was the topic for discussion. So in that meeting, the potentials of millet and types of different millet species, their production as well as the marketing aspects were discussed. So with that motivation, these 100 farmers were started in their interest in millet cultivation. So initially they procured Co-15 finger millet variety from the nearby agriculture depot, and they started cultivation, and the cultivation practice was organic. They applied plant growth promoters like Panchakavya, and with that they harvested good yield. But the procurement price at that time was only rupees 14 per kg. So then they approached the village knowledge center, and the village knowledge center helped them to get the training on value addition. As part of that, they linked with processing mill also. So they powdered the ragi, that is the finger millet, and marketed in the nearby cities, that is Trichy and Pudukkottai. By that they enhanced their income. This is one part. And apart from that, the farmers in the nearby 5 gram panchayats have been accessing the village knowledge centers to access need-based information, especially for animal health as well as agriculture plant health information. So this is one. And apart from this kind of services, the village knowledge center is having a training center for tailoring as well as for computer. So this is his experience, and as a collective they have been cultivating millet. Earlier the cropping pattern was largely dominated by paddy and groundnut. Now millet is included in the cropping system. Thank you. Now I call upon Mr. Subramaniam from Puducherry.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். பாண்டிச்சேரியிலிருந்து வந்திருக்க இயற்கை விவசாயம் சுப்பிரமணியன். 2011 இயற்கை விவசாயத்தில் அடி எடுத்து வைத்து இயற்கை விவசாயத்தில் பாரம்பரிய ரகங்கள், நெல் ரகங்கள், காய்கறிகள், பயிர் வகை பொருள்கள் எல்லாமே மாற்று பயிரை ஒன்று நாம் மல்டி கிராப்பாக பண்ணிட்டு வந்தோம். அப்படி பண்ணி விற்பனைக்கு ரொம்ப சிரமமாக இருந்தது. அந்த நேரத்தில் வெளியில் கொடுக்கும்போது யாரும் அந்த பொருளை அது சாதாரணமாக எடுக்கிற மாதிரி தான் எடுத்தாங்க. அதனால் வந்து விவசாயத்தில் ரொம்ப நஷ்டத்தை சந்திக்க வேண்டியது இருந்தது. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது என்ன பண்ணால் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்லேயே அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில் கூப்பிட்டு நம்ம நேரடியாக வந்து இயற்கை விவசாயம் பண்ணுறோம், இயற்கையிலே உற்பத்தி பண்ணுறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இந்த பொருளெல்லாம் விற்று கொடுக்கறதுக்கு டவுனில் இருக்கக்கூடிய கிராமப்புற நகரப்புற மக்களுக்கு இந்த பொருட்களை நீங்கள் விநியோகம் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்ட்டு சொல்லிட்டு சனி ஞாயிறு 2 நாள் எங்களுக்கு எனக்கு வந்து கூப்பிட்டு பாண்டிச்சேரி கவர்மெண்ட் மார்க்கெட்டிங்கில் சேல் பண்ண ஸ்டால் கொடுத்தாங்க. அதில் வாரம் நம்ம கொடுக்கும்போது கஸ்டமர் வராங்க, அந்த நுகர்வோர்கள் வந்து வரும்போது அவங்க பல விதமான கருத்துக்களை கேட்குறோம், பல விதமான அவங்களுக்கு நிறையா நம்ம வந்து கவுன்சிலிங் பண்ணி ஒரு பொருளையும் கொடுத்து இது பெனிஃபிட் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு நிறையா அவங்களுக்கு விளக்கம் சொல்லி நம்ம பொருளை விற்க வேண்டியது இருந்தது. அப்படியே நாளுக்கு நாள் வரும்போது அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப ஈடுபாடு, நம்மளுடைய பொருள் மேலே ரொம்ப ஈடுபாடு வந்து இந்த பொருள் தேவை அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேட்கும்போது சிறுதானியத்துக்கு நிறையா வந்து அவங்களோட டிமாண்ட் நிறையா இருந்தது. அப்படி பண்ணும்போது இதுக்கு முன்னாடி அப்பா பாட்டாங்கள்லாம் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. நாம் வரும்போது இந்த இப்போ இருக்கிற மார்க்கெட் சூழ்நிலைக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி நம்ம பயிர் வைக்க வேண்டிய சூழ்நிலை ஏற்பட்டதுனால நம்ம பண்ண வேண்டியதாக போச்சு. இப்போ வந்து எதிர்காலத்தை நோக்கி இப்போ இதுக்கெல்லாம் நிறையா வரவேற்பு இருக்கிறதுனால நம்ம இந்த சிறுதானியங்கள்லாம் வந்து வெளியில் வாங்கி விற்றோம். இப்போ வந்து 25 ரூபா 30 ரூபா தான் நம்ம அன்றைக்கி வாங்கணும். வாங்கி கொடுத்தாலும் அதை ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி கொடுக்கும்போது அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஃபுல் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் வரல. காரணம் நம்ம வந்து இயற்கையிலேயே நம்ம வந்து இயற்கை இடுபொருள் மட்டும்தான் போட்டு நம்ம கொடுக்கறதுனால ரொம்ப சிறப்பாக இருந்ததுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு பண்ணாங்க. அதனால் இதே டைமில் 30-40 ரூபா வாங்க இன்றைக்கி வந்து 60 ரூபா 70 ரூபாளுக்கு மார்க்கெட் ரேட்டு கூடி போச்சு. அதனால் நம்ம வாங்கி விற்கிறதுனால எந்த பலனும் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நேரடியாக நானே வந்து ஒரு வருஷமும் ஒரு கிராப்பு வரகு, தினை, சாம, குதிரைவாளி, பனிவரகு, கேழ்வரகு இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கிராப்பை மாற்றி பண்ணதுனால நிலமும் வந்து மண் வளம் மேம்படுது. இந்த மாதிரி மாற்றி செய்யும்போது அந்த மாதிரி செய்யறதுனால இருக்கிற விவசாயி இப்போ நான் ஒருத்தனே வந்து எல்லா பொருளையும் பண்ண முடியாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு என்னுடைய இருக்கக்கூடிய கிராம விவசாயிகளை ப்ரொமோட் பண்ணி ஆளுக்கு ஒரு கிலோ ஃப்ரீயாகவே ஆளுக்கு ஒரு கிராப் மாற்றி கொடுத்து கிராப்பை பயிர் வச்சு அதோடைய ப்ராடக்ட்டை நானே வாங்கி சேல் பண்ணி மதிப்பு கூட்டி விற்க ஆரம்பித்தேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் பார்த்தா மக்களுக்கு நல்ல ஈடுபாடு வந்தது, எனக்கு வந்து கமர்ஷியலாக இருந்தது. நாம் வந்து ஒரு 10 ஃபார்மரை வந்து இதனால் வந்து ப்ரொமோட் பண்ணி அவங்களும் வந்து ஆர்வத்தோடு வந்து செய்கிறதுக்கு முன் வர ஆரம்பித்தாங்க. இதுக்கு வந்து நன்றி சொல்ல நான் ரொம்ப கடன்படுறது 2 பேர். எங்கள் பகுதியில் உள்ள கிராம விரிவாக்க பணியாளரும் ஏஓ வந்து மேடம் வந்து பிள்ளையார்குப்பம் சாமிநாதன் ஃபவுண்டேஷன் வந்து கோஆர்டினேட்டராக ஒர்க் பண்ணுற கிரிஜா மேடம் வந்து கேட்டிருக்காங்க. அடுத்த செகண்டே வந்து இதுபோல் முன்னாடி விவசாயி சுப்பிரமணியன் இந்த மாதிரி வந்து சிறுதானியங்கள்லாம் நிறையா பயிர் பண்ணுறவர் இது போல் வந்து வேல்யூ ஆர்டர் பண்ணி தான் கொடுக்குறாரு அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது சொன்னதுனால எனக்கு 2 பேருக்கு நான் இந்த இடத்துல கண்டிப்பாக நன்றி சொல்ல கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கேன். இதை நம்ம பண்ணும்போது வெறும் ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி அப்படியே ஒரு மணி ரைஸாக கொடுத்தாக்கா அதில் ஒரு பிரயோஜனம் இல்லை. எல்லாருமே வந்து இப்போ 6 வயசுலேருந்து 60 வயசுக்கு மேலே இருக்கிறவங்கலாம் வந்து ரைஸ் வந்து எல்லோரும் அதுமாதிரி சாப்பிடுவேன், கஞ்சியோ மற்றபடி அவங்களுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி டயட் ப்ரொடக்ட் பண்ண இதை வந்து எல்லாத்தையுமே இது அவளாக வந்து ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணி கொடுக்க ஆரம்பித்தேன். இப்போ அவள் வந்து குழந்தைங்க சாப்பிடுவோம் ஈஸியாக, நாட்டு சக்கரை போட்டு பால் போட்டு சாப்பிடுங்க. பெரியவங்களும் அதேமாதிரி ஈஸியாக ஒரு டயட் எடுத்துவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள்லாம் பண்ணுறோம். இது இல்லாத மகளிர் சுய குழுக்களுக்கு ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம ரைஸை விட அவங்க குக்கீஸு, அதிரசம் இந்த மாதிரி அதை வந்து ஒரு சில பொருளாக உற்பத்தி பண்ணி அவங்க இது முறுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி பொருட்களை உற்பத்தி பண்ணி அவங்க கொடுக்க ஆரம்பித்தாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி போகும்போது இப்போ சிறுதானியத்துக்கு எங்கள் ஏரியாவில் பயங்கர டிமாண்டு. அதே டைம் என்கிட்ட கரெக்டாக கேட்பாங்க. ஒரு வருஷம் உற்பத்தி பண்ணக்கூடிய பொருள் அத்தனையும் சேல் பண்ணிடுறோம். இதெல்லாம் நமக்கு வந்து வெளியிலேருந்து அந்த பொருள் நம்ம வாங்கிறது கிடையாது. இன்புட்ஸ் அத்தனையும் நம்ம வந்து ஒரு 1/2 ஏக்கரில் வந்து இன்டகிரேட்டட் ஃபார்மிங், ஆடு மாடு கோழிங்க மீன் குட்டை இந்த மாதிரி வச்சு அதோடைய கழிவுகளை எடுத்து தான் நம்ம வந்து லேண்டுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். லேண்டிலேருந்து வரக்கூடியதை மாடுகளுக்கு கொடுக்குறோம். அப்படி வந்து ஒரு ரொட்டேஷன் இருக்கிறதுனால நமக்கு வந்து வெளியிலேருந்து எந்த விதமான மண்ணுக்கு தீங்கு ஏற்படக்கூடிய அளவுக்கு சிறப்பாக நம்ம விவசாயத்தை பண்ணிடுவதனால சிறப்பாக செயல்பட்டு வரோம். எதிர்காலத்தில் இன்னும் வந்து சிறுதானியங்களுக்கு சிறந்த வரவேற்பு இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு கூட்டி நன்றி சொல்லி வர கேட்பேன். தேங்க்யூ.
He's Mr. Subramaniam from Puducherry Union Territory, and earlier he started buying millets from other states or other districts and started selling in the weekly market which was organized by Department of Agriculture, and there slowly they built the awareness of the consumers and started selling the millets. Later they moved from different value added products. At that time the price was almost 60 to 70 rupees per kg. So considering the increased the cost of the millet, he himself started producing millet in his farm. Then slowly he motivated other farmers in the village to cultivate different types of millets, not only finger millet, little millet, kodo millet, Italian millet, even pearl millet, like that. Diverse species of millets have been promoted for cultivation in his own village, so that the different products were available for selling either by grains or as a kind of a value added product. And in this occasion he would like to thank two people. One is agriculture extension officer, another person is Ms. Girija, who is a development coordinator in MSSR of Puducherry office. And in the value addition, not only rice, earlier he started with rice, but considering the different type of consumers, he diversified the value added products like flaked rice with millets, cookies and snacks. So such kind of different value added products was gained an importance in the market. And according to him, the demand for the millet is keep increasing, and he is also producing millet, or his village is also producing millets in an organic condition. This millet is included in the integrated farming system, where the nutrients and other crop residues are recycled and used as a kind of inputs for millet production. So there is no chemical application either as fertilizer or as a plant protection chemicals. So the future of millet in Puducherry, as far as his experience, is very good, and diversification from rice is also happening. Thank you. Now I call the next person, Ms. Danabai from Koraput, Odisha, to share her experience.
सबको मोर नमस्कार। मोर ना अच्छी तो नबई, आमर गाँव चिमरी पंचायत कोरापुट डिस्ट्रिक्ट। आम मांडिया चाषी रे आगरे बुणी देइतिलु, एबे बुणा करतिला कुंटेल 2 कुंटेल होतिला। एबे आमर समीनाथ ऑफिसर बाबू मन आसिकी मु सिकेइलारु आमे बेसी अम्बड़ होउची, बेसी ए होउची, आउ तमकु पैसा फायदा उठुची, आउ बेसी अम्बड़ हेलारु आमकु समीनाथ ऑफिसर बाबू मन को सबको मोर नमस्कार। क्या काम हो रहा है?
Her name is Dana Bhoi from Machra village of Koraput. She said earlier we are just broadcasting millets and we are getting very less yield. Then Mr. Swaminathan Research Foundation trained us on various technologies and best practices, and we followed those technology and we are getting good yield out of millet. Thanks.
Thank you. Now I call Mr. Jagannath Sinari from Koraput.
नमस्कार, जय जगन्नाथ, शुभ संध्या। मु जगन्नाथ चेनारी कोरापुट जयपुर मोर प्रारंभ करी मोर मांडिया प्रति यात्राटा। मांडिया प्रति मो प्रथम यात्रा 2007 रु गोटे मिल करके चलैली, सफा कली आ मिलिंग करके मार्केट को छाड़ुलु। तापर धीरे धीरे 2014 रु से लड्डू आ बिस्कुट करके लोकों को बुझेलु, सुझेलु, खाइबा कहलु। तापर विभिन्न प्रकार प्रोग्राम जमी MS स्वामीनाथन रही था, ओडिशा मिलेट मिशन विभिन्न कार्यक्रम होता सेठी नहीं कि सेठी भी लोकों को खाइबापे आम बहुत थर प्रोत्साहन देलु। सेठी लोक जिते चाकिले खाइले धीरे धीरे से माने तांकर खाद्यर रूपांतर चेंज करुचंती। वर्तमान भी धीरे धीरे आसुचंती। सेमिति धीरे 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 चली गत वर्ष जिते आम नुआ धरणर गोटे मांडिया चा बोली गोटे नुआ जिनस जो मार्केट को छाड़िलु, ताकू लोकों पाखे पहुँचेलु, तार स्वाद चकेलु। तापर लोक आहरी ता प्रति आकृष्ट हेले। खाद्य रूप से नहीं, पानीय रूप से आगे आम केवल मांडिया जाऊ रूप से खाऊलु ताकू। तापर अंडा हेली जानी आउ किछि चकुली जानी। तापर वर्तमान एते रकम तार खाद्य हो पारुची, जेमिति मांडिया मिक्सचर, मुड़कू, लड्डू, सूप, एमती विभिन्न प्रकार। वर्तमान आम पिज्जा बर्गर रे भी ताको रूपांतरित कर पारुछु। एमती जहाँ चाहिए आम मांडियारू, कांगुरू, सुआरू, बाजरारू, जनारू जेकोसी आमर जमीती 5टी श्रीधान्य और 4टी क्षुद्र शस्य जोटा कि मांडिया जन्ना कांगू ये सब प्रकार अच्छी जो 9टा शस्य अच्छी 9टा शस्य आम खाई पारुचे आ मु निजे ही तार गोटे ट्रायल नहीं मो निज प्रति मो हार्ट ऑपरेशन हैला परे मते डॉक्टर 9टा मेडिसिन लिखिथिले प्रत्येक दिन खाइबा वर्तमान मु गोटे भी मेडिसिन खाउनी केवल दिन को सप्ताह 4 दिन मिलेट खाऊँ 3 दिन नॉर्मल खाद्य खाऊँ वर्तमान मु बिना मेडिसिन रे मोर जीवन यापन करुच्ची जदि एमिति प्रत्येक लोक जदि तार खाद्य प्रणाली खाइबार प्रणाली जदि चेंज करि परिबो प्रत्येक आमे निज घर ही चेंज करिया पड़िबो जदि ताको आमे चेंज करिया ताले आमे आम शरीर को सुस्थ रखिबा ता संगे चाषी भी लाभवान हेबे प्रत्येक जगह रे एटी चाषी चाषी जेतेबेले तार चाष करि दउची किंतु ताको मार्केट रे तार उपयुक्त तार प्राप्य पाइबार अच्छी बेले आम मैंने समस्ते मिसी ताकू खाइबार अच्छी प्रथमे आमे ताकू ग्रहण करिवार अच्छी आम मैंने जदि ताकू ग्रहण ठीक भाव में आ प्रत्येक दिन अंतत सप्ताह को 3 दिन आमे जदि ताकू ग्रहण करि परिबा ताहले आमे निश्चय आगू को जिबा एई जिनस को मते बहुत थर आमर स्वामीनाथन रे भी मते बुझेइचंती आपण जदि दरकार पड़छि किछि लोकन को आपण फ्री रे भी ट्रेनिंग दियंतु किछि लोकन को फ्री रे चाकिबा को दियंतु जाहाले से माने आगू को आसीबे आ ओडिशा मिलेट मिशन भी सेपरी तांकर विभिन्न कार्यक्रम करिकि से माने भी अवेयरनेस करूछंती सेठी भी आमे विभिन्न प्रकार तांकर प्रोग्राम रे भी आमे हमरो खाद्य पदार्थ को पठाउछु सेठी समस्त खाउछंती चाकुछंती आउ एठारे हमरो पंडा सार भी अच्छी जी आमको मांडिया चा बेली जो सदा बेले मार्केट रे तार ये बुलिला जेतेबेले सी सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी तांकर पिला को कहीकि से प्रकृत मांडिया चा रे कौन तार गुणात्मक अच्छी सी ताकू टेस्ट करके भी देखी विगत 2 मास तले तार रिपोर्ट भी से देइतिले यही जो मांडिया चा पीले आम नियर अबाउट ग्रीन टी रो जेतिकी फायदा एंटी ऑक्सीडेंट जेतिकी मिलुची सेतिकी एंटी ऑक्सीडेंट आमे मांडिया चारू भी पाई परिबा जेतेबेले आमे हमरो जदि मांडिया जातीय शस्यरू जदि आमे सेतिकी एंटी ऑक्सीडेंट पाइबा आमे काहे जिबा ग्रीन टी पाखु चा बलिया जिनस सेति जहाले भी निकोटिन किछि परिमाण रहुची ग्रीन टी हो कि नॉर्मल टी हो किंतु मांडिया जातीय आइरे सेतिरे निकोटिन बिल्कुल नहीं जोटा आम शरीर को बहुत सुस्थ करिके रखिबो आ आमे तृप्ति भी हो पारिबा जमिति नॉर्मल चा पीले आम जमी तृप्ति हो पारे मांडिया चा पी भी सेतिकी तृप्ति एमती विभिन्न प्रकार वर्तमान आम गोटे मिलेट बैंक बेली आम फैक्ट्री स्टार्ट करूँ सेठी आम प्रत्येक रविवार महिला मानू फ्री रे किमिति से माने विभिन्न प्रकार खाद्य घरे बनईकी खाइबे सेटा भी शिखौचु जिमिति प्रत्येक घरे समस्ते किमिति आम आपको खाइबा आमर परिवेश को सुस्थ रखिबा से ही चेष्टा करिकी चलैछु धन्यवाद जय जगन्नाथ
He is Jagannath Chinnari. He is one of the millet entrepreneur in Koraput district. He started just millet processing in 2007, and after that since 2014 he started value added products from millets, and he expanded that by stall, and then he also added many value added products to his stall, and many people got the benefit out of it. He also joined Odisha Millet Mission in campaigning, food campaigning, and he gave training and awareness to other people in free of cost, and he also associated with the other groups, millet groups. And he recently last year he developed one millet tea which is very nutritious, and he is telling it is having more antioxidant property, so it's good for health like green tea. So that is also he is providing to others. So he is involved himself broadly in this process to take millet to reach people, more people with this concept, and he is very much thankful to MS Swaminathan Research Foundation for giving it the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you, Jagannath and Prashant. Now I call upon Mr. Ram Swaroop Parikh from Karnataka to share his experience.
Hello, everyone. I am thankful that this fellowship is being given to me. I am very much thankful to MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. The journey started in 2017, and you would say that maybe someone who studied law, who's done his masters, was always maybe destined to be here. I thought that at my 40s I would be retiring, doing some agriculture and all. But then I was destined. In 2017, I met Sujay, who's worked a lot on millets, who's worked with farmer organization and all. So our synergies, our ideas matched. In 2020, we were discussing for 4-5 years about millets, what we can do in organic space and other things and all. COVID was a catalyst. People were closing down their businesses. They were moving out to different things. We thought that, look, we should start some business and all. So we were helping a farmer who was organic farmer. He has grown mangoes. He's struggling to sell his mangoes. So we started with that. We sold those mangoes. Then the journey started with millets. We got sourced millets and we started selling millets. In the process, the problem was, one was the grain keeping quality. You cannot store them for a very longer duration. So we thought that maybe front ending we can do very easily. We have to do the back ending. So in 2021 we started with a millet processing unit in a village. And then if we are having a millet processing unit, we also need to work with farmers. So Kanakpura is known for kodo millet. Lot of people have grown. So there are stories of people who have grown 3-4 years back and they're not able to sell. So they are either given it to their cow or they've just mulched it in their land and all that. So all these sort of difficulties. Or farmer is not able to get a fair price, or he is struggling to mill it. He is ready to consume, but then he is not able to find a mill which is convenient to his or nearer to his place, because he would spend a lot of money on transport. So that was the thing. So after constructing a factory, we thought that we should make a collective or a group of farmers. So in October 21, we were struggling with getting 10 farmers to grow millets, because Kanakpura farmers have been growing mulberry also. With silkworm rearing, they have been making a lot of money. So a farmer is making more money than an engineer who makes in Bangalore. So he would not want to grow millets where he is just going to get some 30-35 rupees. He would not want to grow that grain, but he would want something lucrative which can give him 1 lakh rupees a month. So it was very difficult getting 10 farmers. So journey started from there. I am very proud that today we are a collective of 200 farmers. And with the support of IMR, we will be able to, we are also, the organization is called Kanakpura Organics. We are also an incubatee at IMR. With the help of IMR, we will be able to help lot of more farmers, get them as the shareholders, also make lot of value added products and give a better pricing. So that has been the journey. It has been very fruitful in that sense. We have been able to work on lot of fronts. One of the front is in terms of machineries. There are huge machineries which can solve your problem, but at a smaller level, at a mid level, it is very, very problematic. So all those things simultaneously we have been working at the agriculture front, at the front of processing, getting the right quality grains. Rice, the top brand is not lost. The breakage is less. So all these things we have been working. Some of the things are still in pipeline. Some of them we have been able to do. So we're thankful. Thank you.
Thank you. There are some more fellows, but we could not accommodate all of them in this session. Later we will share the directory, which is providing much more information about all the fellows to know more about them. And in future also, let us continue our journey in identifying such grassroots innovators and promote them to take a lead in millet promotion at the grassroots levels. Thank you everyone for gracing this occasion and sharing your experiences. So now I request Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra to share your views and
Very good afternoon to everybody present here. First of all, let me thank profusely Dr. Soumya Swaminathan for inviting me to be part of this excellent program. I have been coming to the foundation for pretty long time, and particularly during this time, it's a privilege to be here always. That too, just to greet, meet and wish Professor M.S. Swaminathan many long years of good health, and for his monumental contribution to agriculture nationally, globally, and very importantly for strengthening livelihoods in rural India through the foundation. And this is something which today in this particular session, we learned from the fellows, and that is eye-opening in this particular session. So credit goes to the founder, Professor M.S. Swaminathan, and everybody else who is associated with the activities of the foundation, and now Dr. Soumya spearheading the activities as the chairperson. And congratulations, Dr. Soumya, for the leadership that you are now imparting and bringing these unsung heroes to the platform, and also allowing them to speak and their heart and mind, and pouring out whatever feelings they have. And sometimes they are emotional because the kind of journey they have in their life is unbelievable. So heartiest congratulations to all of you who received the fellowship, and this is very, very prestigious. Millets truly coined as a mighty millets, now nutri-cereals, and Sri Ann, as has been coined by Honorable Prime Minister recently. The International Year of Millet spearheaded by Government of India, and that time we had in the Department of in the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, and in 2018 declaring the National Year of Millet, and 2023 the International Year of Millets. This is something bringing focus on millets, and then promoting in whatever can be done to mainstream millets for addressing malnutrition, for addressing the climate issues, particularly making agriculture climate resilient, and so on and so forth. So this conference, again, organization of this is timely, and we have a great deal to learn from this, particularly those who are working at the grassroots level. So grassroots innovators, workers, and contributors who are recognized now in this session are the torch bearers, that they are the messengers, the examples for others to emulate. And this country, we are discussing, Dr. Soumya was telling, the Tamil Nadu government wants to have millets in their PDS, but there is no millet to supply. So the production has to increase. The area has declined quite a bit. In fact, in case of small millets, to the extent of 90% area decline has happened over several decades. So there are no takers. So now that with this focus on International Year and the kind of recipes which are being prepared by those the fellows here, and also otherwise by chefs in very five-star hotels and so on and so forth. So I believe that would drive consumption, and once there is increase in consumption, so production would increase, and production will be driven by the demand. So demand is going to increase, And obviously, in this context, we need to really build value chains and recognizing farmers' varieties, their values, protecting them, and giving them back what they deserve in terms of the economic benefits, I would say. NBA is here, and Plant Variety Protection Authority is here, and if you can, protect your varieties and your wealth with us, so you have rights, and the Government of India has established these authorities to confer on you the rights for your wealth in terms of genetic resources, and use of these genetic resources by anybody else amounts to giving you back something in terms of benefits. So sharing benefits is very, very important, and all of you, if you are aware about this kind of mechanisms, that would help you. That is stall. Both NBA and Plant Variety Protection Authority and Farmers' Rights Authority have stalls. There are people you can visit, try to understand what are your rights and how you can be empowered, and then you can register your wealth, and then in the process try to harness full benefits out of the resources that you have in the form of genetic material and wealth of genetic material that you have been conserving for years. There are many examples. You have yourself cited some of those examples, and certainly as you go along, there is plenty of opportunity for our farmers at the grassroots level to harness full benefits of these mechanisms which are existing. I wish all of you all the very best, wish this conference all the very best, and thanks once again the organizers for giving me this opportunity to be here. Wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your best wishes, as well as highlighting the issues in production, especially the reduction in the area under cultivation and the need for integrating farmers into the value chain. So those aspects, maybe next 2 days we will be discussing further to understand the key issues as well as the research gaps to move forward. Thank you very much, sir. Now I call upon Mr. Achalendra Reddy, sir, to provide his inputs.
A very good afternoon to all. Vanakkam. Honorable Chairperson, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, MSSRF Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, Dr. Trilok Mahapatraji, Chairperson PPVFRA. Distinguished guests, my dear fellow farmers, I am also a farmer basically, and all the distinguished participants. I feel it is a great honor and privilege to be here with you, and I thank profusely Dr. Soumya Swaminathan and her team for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this great gathering. It has been a great learning experience for me. As you all know that I am heading National Biodiversity Authority as its chairperson. I really, thrilled by seeing the variety, biodiversity in case of millets. There are certain species, but then varieties, then sub-varieties. The complexity of processing, complexity of production, complexity of supply chains and marketing. These are all issues when we interact only we understand. The point is that everything is available in the Google, but Google will not give answers to our problems. Google will give information for all of us to think and this thing. But when we interact like this, thanks to Madam Soumya Swaminathan ji for facilitating this painstaking conference. This requires a lot of hard inputs and very meticulous planning. So friends, from the morning I have been seeing the in the inaugural session, the distinguished participants shared their valuable ideas and thoughts on this millet, especially this thing. A lot has been said about its nutrition value and other things in our daily life. Coming to this, all converges into the ecological and economic aspects. Ecology in the sense that soil health and millets and economy means, you cannot only just romanticize and sermons giving that millets are good, millets this thing that will take us to just 1 or 2 kilometers. But long distance runner means you have to see what are the problems in the value chains, what are the problems in the marketing, where the weak links are there. Many people, I interacted with some of the people last one and a half year. They told, why don't you do this? No, processing is very difficult in millets. It is not that easy. You have to have certain quantum of millets to go for a bigger machinery. At the village level, as you all know, Gandhiji has long back mentioned, India lives in its villages, and villages are Indian republics. The point is that how to connect and network these difficult issues and revive our great hoary and excellent traditions. Millets have not been discovered yesterday or today by me or you. It is there for the last 5,000 years. Maybe Indian civilization started then. But of late we realized that that old also was good, and that's why we realized its importance, and now we are going back to certain the time-tested traditions. So coming to our friends, the fellows, Jamsetji Tata fellows, 12th edition of this fellowships. Really, I have gone through the booklet where a brief achievements of each one of you have done. I am not just for the namesake I am appreciating it, because I can understand from your speeches, from your body language itself, how many difficulties you might have undergone. कितना तकलीफ आप लोग उठाया हम समझ सके, समझ लिया, because it is not that easy to venture into, when the 90% of the farming is going in one direction, you take a U-turn and gone for the millets. So I can understand basically being from a village and being from a farming family and still have land and we cultivate. I know what are the difficulties. Of course, you and I can easily empathize with each other. The issues, therefore, my submission to this August House, so this thing is that the basic problem with all the things is marketing. See, the small and marginal farmer, the first is conservation, second is consumption, third is commercialization. The second, consumption in the sense, for your own health, for our own family health, we need to avoid health costs, because health is taking a heavy toll on our rural villagers' economy, financial burden. अगर एक डिजीज आ गया तो पूरा पैसा खर्चा हो जाएगा. So health of the whole family, children, and this important. Conservation of millets, whatever the varieties we have, God-given gift to India, and we are the 17th megabiodiverse countries, and we cannot afford to lose any variety. For example, to cite one in Madhya Pradesh, एक बाइगा बोल के एक ट्राइबल फार्मर था, 40 साल से उनका सलाहा वेराइटी बोल के पर्ल मिलेट में था, वो डिसअपियर हो गया बोल के 15 ग्राम था उनके पास, 15 grams were there. That the tribals have exchanging every season, sowing season में. So he brought that 15 grams. Now it has become a part of the seed bank. For 40 साल से वो लोग सोचा कि उसका गायब हो गया. That means the millet has disappeared, that variety, pearl millet variety. I am giving example. So the point I am trying to tell is that you people are the conservers and the rich biodiversity. So up till now this is okay. But when we go for cultivation and processing and this thing, the problems will crop up. There we have to think deeply and give certain inputs to the policy makers of the states as well as central government. Because I am very confident that if right time a right policy measure agar hum log, if we can give, if we can intervene, then definitely the problems will be solved and health, economy, ecology can be protected. So friends, one more point I would like to share before I conclude. As you all know, the Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned Life Mission. Usme 75 action points are there. Out of 75, direct 3 to 5 points are covering the millets. Direct. मतलब आप हर दिन में at least एक बार millet खाना है. All these things are there in the Life Mission 75 actionable points. So the the national level policy also has covered the millets luckily, and international level of millets has come out rightly at the right juncture of the history of agriculture, and we realize now, and we are going moving ahead. Now, to say that all of you are the ambassadors or representatives of millet revolution in India, and thanks to Swaminathan Foundation for really recognizing and felicitating you. See, in life, I learned from Napoleon Bonaparte, nothing is more important than recognition. No other satisfaction, no money, nothing will give. But in a society, if you do something good, if you are recognized, that itself is a big energy booster, health booster also. So that is a wonderful thing this Swaminathan Foundation has done, and I really congratulate them. And it is a great inspiration and also motivation for all of us to follow the footsteps of great patron and great person. You already had our father figure, Sir M.S. Swaminathan ji. So before I conclude, I only appeal to all the people who are here, in whatever way it is possible, from any source, any level, at any time, to encourage production, to find suitable solutions in the form of machinery for processing, and to bring some revolutionary changes in the marketing mechanism by food. FPOs, FPCs have come. It has come rightly. We all know that this FPO, FPC model combines the principles of cooperative society as well as principles of company. I stand to be corrected if I am wrong. So, this policy change has to be really exploited fully in the millet sector now. So, with these few words, I thank Madam Swaminathan ji and MS Swaminathan team members and all of you for giving me this opportunity and a patient hearing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the key aspects of cultivation, commercialization and consumption angle, and also how the farmer producer companies can come forward in taking up their role in the whole part of value chain. So now I request Soumya to give her remarks. After that, we'll be honoring them.
Thank you, Dr. Rangalakshmi, and also thank you to Dr. Mahapatra and Mr. Reddy for their very key comments which they made just now on the importance of honoring people and recognizing. I think that was very, very true what you said, and that's one of the goals of the National Virtual Academy, is to recognize the contributions of people who are otherwise not visible because they are working quietly in their own areas. So the NVA, as I mentioned a little bit in the morning, the Jamsetji Tata National Virtual Academy for Rural Prosperity, that is the full name, was established in 2003 with generous support from the Tata Trusts, and it has become an important national institution for according recognition to outstanding men and women who have mastered the techniques of both digital technologies, ICT, and are applying their knowledge in the villages for further skill empowerment of rural families. So the first convocation was held in 2005, and this is the 12th convocation that we have just held. And as Dr. Ranga mentioned, already there are about 1,800 fellows who have been inducted. We also heard about the criteria of creativity, innovation, and social service based on which the fellows are selected through a very wide nomination process. And we hope that this will continue, and that every 6 months, every 12 months, we will be able to induct more fellows. But more important is, what are we going to do once you have become members of an academy? There should be some joint program, some goals, some activities, so that you use your skills and knowledge to empower others. And so I think today, using digital platforms, it should be possible actually to connect. Of course, we have also challenges of huge amount of diversity in language, in the kind of each one, you can see here the diversity that we have, but still I think that only adds to the strength, the diversity of skills that we have amongst the fellows. So I think we should find a way of really bringing people together periodically to share. And we have heard from morning today that we are talking a lot about millets now. There's a lot of awareness, but there are still obstacles and challenges on the ground which need to be addressed. And only talking about millets is not going to bring us to a situation where everybody is happily consuming millets. I think we are very far from that reality. So to get there, for our own health and nutrition benefits, I think we need to address the challenges that they face. And when I have traveled to both Namakkal and as well as Koraput, and I went to Machara village actually, where I saw the women self-help group running the mill, which has made such a huge difference. I think in the morning we heard one of the women farmers talk about the drudgery. In fact, all the women, if you talk to them, they will say one of the reasons for not consuming millets is the drudgery involved, because they have to hand pound in the absence of machines, and it can take hours of work to make enough millets even for their own family. So naturally it's much easier to procure from the PDS or from the market and consume some other cereal. So I think the issue of gender will also be gender in agriculture as such, and a focus really from the women, because the women actually are the ones who make the decision on what is consumed, what is bought, what is cooked, etc. So unless we address, and they have very, very important experience to share. So it's clear that even a small thing like providing a milling machine to a village through a self-help group makes an enormous difference in their lives, both in terms of consumption but also in terms of increasing their incomes, because then they're able to provide that as a service and sell it. So we hope that the fellows are expected. There's a whole charter for the fellows, and there are roles and responsibilities which include being social mobilizers and trainers in their own areas. They're expected to share their own skills and competencies and spread the knowledge they have acquired, provide information that is dynamic and demand-driven, will build the skills and capacities of rural people, will have dialogues with scientists, policymakers, and other experts. That's what we are trying to do here. Bring everyone together so that we can listen to each other's perspectives, and especially for policymakers, we will have a session at the end of the third day where the policymakers will talk about the lessons and what they have absorbed, and what they can actually take into policy. They will initiate the documentation of traditional knowledge and promote the use of indigenous technologies that are ecologically sustainable. We'll have a pro-nature, pro-poor, pro-woman orientation, and their priorities will be water, energy, health, agriculture, biodiversity, and ecosystem management, as well as raising awareness on climate-related issues. And also importantly, both traditional and modern technologies will be used by the fellows to spread relevant information using a variety of methods. Today we live in an era of social media, but still we should not discount the role of traditional media as well as local village street plays, theatre, and so on, to spread the message that we want to convey. And finally, they will show the path to end the urban-rural digital divide. Today we have come a long way. Even in rural areas, we have quite a good spread of technologies, or mobile phones are available everywhere. But still, there are many villages in India where the connectivity is very poor, and so therefore they are always slower to access the information that the rest of us have access to. And as rightly pointed out by our eminent guests, just access to information on Google is not going to actually solve our problems. That requires actually a lot of consultation, coordination, and hard work. So I wish to congratulate all the most recent fellows who have been inducted into the academy. You join an already eminent group. The first two convocations were, the chief guest was President Abdul Kalam, And he came for the first convocation, and then he insisted on coming for the second one because he felt so energized. And he felt it was such a novel concept to have grassroots workers actually being inducted into an academy, which normally when you say academy, you think about a very high-level scientific academy. You don't really think about grassroots academy. So it's a unique one, but we have to make it actually fulfill, I think, the mission with which it was set up. So I think from the foundation side, we will commit to stay connected, have a platform on which we can all share our experiences so that we can actually take your knowledge and to many more people so that others can benefit as well. So thank you very much, and thank you to both our chairs this afternoon for having guided us for many, many years and continue to guide us as we are on this journey together. Thank you.
Now we have a group photo with our fellows. Yeah. Before that, I request Executive Director to honor the guests.
Good afternoon. There is an announcement. We are going to conduct the millet workshop. It is cultivating creativity, uniting stakeholders to innovate solutions for millet challenges. The objectives of the workshop is to identify the constraints in the millet sector and learn from the farmers and other stakeholders who are working in the millet sector and develop a strategy for addressing the issues. So this workshop will be conducted in the Sambashivan auditorium. I request all our NBO fellows and the farmers and those who are working in the FPOs are requested to assemble in Sambashivan auditorium, and the workshop will be getting over by 4:30 p.m. Thank you.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். இது